What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and this is your Bridgington episode 6 recap, review, conversation. I'm going to try to get Bling Empire today or tomorrow, but we'll see. Diva had a headache yesterday, and so I was like, I need to just not come down. Sometimes I push through it, but yesterday I decided not to push through it, so we skipped a day of recording. So I'm back. It's only been a day. Anyways, so go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know you stopped by. And hit the bell notification twice so that you can get updates on premieres and uploads and lives when I do go live. That's very rare, but when I do. All right, so let's get right into it. This episode was a trip. At the end was a trip, so we'll get to it though. Duke and Daphne arrive to their home. They're being greeted by all of their staff. Miss Colson is the housekeeper, the head housekeeper, and so Daphne is being introduced to her. Now they're back at the promenade or in a garden somewhere, and Colin announces that he is going to wife Marina. Everybody is looking crazy. He says Marina accepted it. Violet is sick. Penelope is sick. Everybody's sick. Anthony is sick. And he's really mad. And he walked over to the mother and was like, did you know about this? She was like, honey, everybody is looking. Just act like everything is okay. Just act like everything is okay. We'll talk about it later. He tells Colin, you don't even know her. Why do you want to get married to her? And he was like, why else? Love, right? So everybody's falling in love, right? Everybody's going against tradition, falling in love. And he says, listen, if you just want to get laid, if that's what it is, you just want to marry the girl so you can get laid, then we can arrange that. And he was like, no, it's not even like that. What stood out to me is when he told him that he was too young. And he was like, I'm older than Daphne. He was like, that's different. Is it? How different is it, Anthony? Mm-hmm. Did y'all notice that? He was like, that's different. It's different. She's younger than him, and it's different anyways. He mentioned something about maturity. And remember I told you that the excuse that men have is embedded in their existence. You know, they don't mature as fast as girls, but they have to be the leaders, though. Absolutely not. So Duke and Daphne, they are getting down in the bedroom doing what newlyweds do, honey. And she explains to him that she has to get to work because her mother always told her that it's very important to, be in good graces with your housekeeping staff to make sure that your home is run smoothly. So after she leaves, the Duke's, I don't know, a guy with a wig on. He comes in there and he says, the estate counting is in disarray. We need you to pay attention to what's going on in the town. And so Daphne is having a tour. She explains to Miss Colson that she is going to redecorate. She was like, redecorate? She was like, yeah, girl, I'm going to redecorate. As they're walking by all of the rooms, she sees a portrait of the previous Duchess, and she was like, oh, she was the best Duchess ever. And she kind of like glares at her. I don't even know why it's necessary for Mrs. Colson to have an attitude with Daphne. Like, what do you have an attitude with her for? I guess she kind of is like, because a lot of what's going on, a lot of what we're seeing is like a lot of non-traditional things, right? So her saying she wants to redecorate, her not really going, when they walked past the nursery, she just looked in the nursery, was like, okay, girl, let's go. And then the Miss Colson was looking at her like, you don't want to go look in the nursery? She's like, come on, let's go. We got other things to do, girl. So they walk by it, honey. I don't understand what's wrong with Miss Colson. She got a bad attitude. Anyways, at the dinner, they're sitting at the dinner table, and the Duke and Daphne are on, other opposite ends of the table, and they're trying to have a conversation. And they're still in their love phase, right? And so he's like, "Come down closer." He was like, "I can't hear you all the way from down there." First, he walks in like, "What's up?" Like he comes in, and he was like, "Wait, I didn't know we was doing something formal." And she was like, "No, no, this is what they wanted. And so she comes all the way down, and everybody's looking like, what is she doing? She comes down and sits right next to him, and then she has gloves on and everything. He was like, you don't have to be so formal. We're not really formal in this house. So he takes her gloves off, and then he says, come on, let's go. And then they go outside. It starts raining. They're screwing all over the place, screwing up against the wall, screwing on the floor, screwing on concrete floor, child. Just everything. Screwing on the stones, screwing on the grave, screwing on the grass. They screwing screwing everywhere, okay? But they're just having, I just put having newlywed fun. They just doing everything, just fucking everywhere, okay? So I forgot what song, I can't remember what song it was when they were screwing on the damn floor in the concrete. Um, but all I know is that Simon was stroking to the violin strings. I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So Simon climaxes, and he's so dramatic. He hops up off of her, turns the other way, starts doing all, he has his orgasm or whatever. And she was like, does that hurt? Like, because he's so dramatic. She was like, does it hurt? And he was like, no, it feels really, really good. And she was looking like, well, what's wrong with you? Remember, Daphne has no clue about sex. She don't know nothing. Like, she just knows right now, she just knows it's like she's getting pleasure from it. And I don't think she ever understood that it was something that you get pleasure from. I don't think she ever understood that. Anyways, they fucking in the library next. And the housekeeper, everybody's listening at the door. Even Miss Colson's old raggedy ass, ain't no telling the last time she had some dick. So she listened to the door like, ooh, these kids. So anyways, Rose and Daphne have a conversation. Rose, I think that's her name. Is her name Rose? She's Daphne's handmaid. And she was like, I thought if you couldn't have kids, basically, that you couldn't fuck. Like, but he's doing the most, girl. Like, what's going on? And she was like, they were just laughing and giggling about it, right? So back at the Bridgerton household, Colin and Violet are having this conversation, and she basically says that, I thought you were just flirting with Marina. You flirt with all the girls. I didn't know it was that serious. And he's like, you know, you are going very fast with this. I just didn't know. And he was like, well, I was taken by her. He really likes her. And back at the Featherington household, honey, Marina and Penelope are having a conversation. And they're kind of taking, well, Penelope's kind of being like passive aggressive with her, like taking these tiny little jabs. She tells her she's pretty. She was like, you don't have to compliment me. And then she was like, you don't have to pity me. And she's like, I'm not going to ruin anybody's family name, but I'm letting you know that I don't condone what you're doing. I just don't. And she was like, okay, girl, whatever. So back at the Modises, the Featheringtons and the Bridgertons run into each other, and they're talking about how this union is going to be good for the family. And, Violet is looking like, girl, really? Because the Featheringtons, even though they're high in society, I think people are like kind of frowning on them because the daughters aren't as attractive as the Bridgerton girls by, in these guidelines here. They're they dress nice, but I don't know what it is. It's just they're the way that they're positioned. They're not as attractive as the girls. So it's kind of, I don't know if we want to be with your families per se. I don't know, but they're there. What the Featheringtons are there to get what's her name's outfits together, right? And so Madame Delacroix tells her, well, you need to bring your account current. I really can't make anything for you until your account is current. Remember, they haven't paid their bill, right? So Marina says, no, she's real sneaky. I can't wait to see what happens with her coming up. But she looks at Madame Delacroix or Lady Delacroix, whatever her fucking name is, and she says, girl, what part of France are you from again? And she was like, because my mother is French. She starts speaking in French. My mother is French, and we don't want to let these ladies know that you ain't who you say you are. For real, girl. Because I can't place your accent or whatever. And so she looking crazy, and Featherington is looking at Marina like, girl, what are you saying to her? And she was like, is that good? Are we good? Trey Bone, girl? She was like, "Très bon." Yeah, we good, girl. And she goes off and she was like, I think we're going to be fine now. And Featherington looks at Marina like, oh, okay. Eloise caught that though. Did you see Eloise? And I'm trying to figure out what that was all about because Eloise was like, okay. So she noticed that. She caught it. The Duke and Daphne, they're at this kind of festival. I don't know if it's like the May, when they're running around the pole, May Day or May Parade. I don't know what it's called, but I've read about these things, right? And part of the festival is that there you have to slaughter a pig. And so Daphne, I guess I guess she got some letters from PETA or something. She doesn't slaughter any of the pigs, but it's tradition to slaughter one of these pigs, and that's the winner, the one pig that wins. And she was like, no, wait, the one pig who wins doesn't get slaughtered. I think that's how it goes because she goes, all of them win, so that means none of them get slaughtered. And everybody in all the townspeople, Simon, he's like smiling. He don't know what the hell is going on, and she, because he should have told her like, girl, you need to pick one because there's some ramifications if you don't pick one. So she doesn't pick one, and everybody's looking at her like, girl, what? No, you need to pick a thing. So everybody's looking, okay, whatever. So now the town people come up to her complaining about things that are going on in the town, how the rent has been increased. And she was like, well, honey, Daphne has great customer service skills. She was like, she acknowledged him, she listened to him, and she told him she was going to do something about it. And he was like, oh, okay, thank you. And Simon looks very pleased and shit. And then here comes this little crying baby running, right? And Daphne picks up the crying baby and she's like, oh, baby, are you okay? And this and that. And then the mother comes up and the mother's saying something crazy. She doesn't realize that it's the Duchess holding her baby. And she was like, oh my God, Duchess, I'm so sorry. And this and all this other stuff, right? And of course, her holding the baby, Simon is looking like, dang, I know she really wants children. And then Daphne it kind of settles in with her like, I am holding a kid. I'm not going to ever have children. This guy can't have kids and this and that. So as they're walking away, and she was like, was it hard to see me with the little kid? He was like, no, I mean, was it hard for you? I mean, it's like, because I know it's what you want. And he was like, you're such a natural at it. I'm glad you're okay with it just being the two of us, though. I'm really happy about that. And this is where it gets crazy. It's because, you know, how many times didn't we just talk about women compromising on Huntsville? So we all the way back in 1813, right? And we have this woman compromising, this woman who said she wanted a family, this woman who is like saying, okay, well, this guy said he can't have children. I can't give you children. And I'm still going to go ahead and marry him. But there's so many circumstances around it. It's just like, he just needs to tell the truth. Anyways, back at the Featheringtons household, Marina, they have a dinner, right? So they're sitting down for dinner, and oh, before they go to dinner, right? They're waiting for dinner, and Penelope tells Featherington, "I know you might be able to fool Colin, but I don't think you're going to be able to fool Violet. I think she's smarter than that. You might be deceiving him." This is the words that she uses. Word usage is very important, but you can't fool Violet, is what she said. At the dinner table, everybody's asking questions. Um, and they're talking about, just making small talk. Penelope is sick sitting at that table, honey. The sister stands up. She can't sing. I love that the subtitle said off key because the sister sounded horrible. Well, I tell you, she sounded horrible. So they, entertaining or whatever. And Colin is walking off someplace, and Penelope runs out to him and she says, I need to tell you something about Marina. And he was like, what is it? And she was like, her heart belongs to somebody else. He was like, I don't care if she was like, no, but she really loves this guy. He was like, well, she's here with me and I'm about to marry her. So obviously it's, she likes me more if she's not with this other guy. Marina comes out and sees them talking. She was like, girl, okay, now you being a hater, right? So she walks over and she's like, your mom wants you, girl. You need to go and see your mother, right? So Marina tells Colin how she feels so alone and how she just basically really wants to hurry up and get married. And he was like, he was like, you want to run off? We can go to Gretna Green because we could do it fast there. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So she's happy, like, okay, I'm trying. I need to get him because we need to get him. She's showing to me. It looked like she was showing to me. What do y'all think? It looked like her little because she was like, do swish, swish, and she was doing like that. You could making sure she doesn't make any noise when she walks, but you can see her little stomach right there. So they agree to run off, right? So Daphne wakes up in the Hastings household. What are they called? The Duke of Hastings, but they were at Cliveden. Why did they call it a different name? Anyways, I'm confused. Somebody explain it to me. Because they said they was at Cliveden, but he's the Duke of Isn't that the Hastings? I don't get it. Maybe that's the name of the castle? I don't know. Y'all explain it to me. Anyways, Daphne wakes up and Simon isn't there. So she's looking for him. And as she's looking for him, she passes the nursery. And she's looking all sad and depressed, and she just closes the door. So he's in there handling the books. Remember they said they need to get the town in order. And she was like, you want to have breakfast? And he was like, no, I'm really, really busy. And he was like, this responsibility of this town is mine. And he's just like getting real busy. He kind of is like ignoring her, right? Like preoccupied, not ignoring her, just focused on something else. That's a better way to say it. And so Daphne is out there. She says that with Rose, they're collecting lavender because they want to go into the town and give gifts to the townspeople, just to get for everybody to get to know the Duchess and things like that. And Miss Colson runs out and she's like, girl, what are you doing? I'll have somebody do this for you. She was like, girl, no, it's okay. I can do it. I got this. I'll do it. And Miss Colson is upset because it's tradition. She's going against, there's so many things that she's going against, and Miss Colson is old and set in her ways. So she's like, girl, why are you doing this? So as she's going through the town passing out these bundles of lavender, um, everybody's there like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And she was like, what's going on? And Rose is like, girl, I don't know. She was like, they didn't understand. But what happened is when it was time to slaughter the pig was going to provide food for the people. And it was also going to provide money to the person whose pig it was. And because no pig was slaughtered, nobody got any food. And the farmer whose pig it was is not going to get any money. And so that's why everybody's mad at her. And she was like, oh shit, I got to fix this. So back at the house, they're moving furniture around. And Miss Colson comes in and she was like, let me talk to you. So her and Miss Colson and what's her girl's name? Daphne, they sit down for tea. And she was like, I know I've had some missteps, but I need to know what I need to do correctly. Can you help me? And she starts mentioning the Duke's childhood and talking about that. And she said, and how his mother went through so much to have a child. And then after she has a child, that she died. And she was like, and all that, this whole time, basically, just like on Bling Empire, everybody thinks it's the woman and it's possibly the man. And she was like, you have to have quick seeds in order to get pregnant. And she was thinking like, okay, so now Daphne's thinking like, okay, back at the Featheringtons. The Featheringtons are at a ball, I think, and Penelope says she doesn't want to go. She's playing like she's sick. So she's going around snooping for letters, and she figures out that the letter from Spain is a forged letter from her mother and her handmaid. And she said, and Marina comes in and she was like, girl, what are you doing snooping through my room? And she was like, well, I'm just letting you know these letters from Spain, it was fake. Your guy did not reject you. And she was like, well, no, he didn't reject me, but he still hasn't called me. So I'm still going off with Colin, girl. So I don't know why you keep trying to do all this cock blocking. I don't know what's going on. And then she was like, oh, you're in love with him. She was like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. She was like, girl, let me tell you something. I'm a woman, basically, and I have to do things that are right for me you don't understand. He doesn't like you. He doesn't even see you like that, girl. He doesn't think of you like that. And she was like, Colin has embraced me. She was like, why are your bags packed? And she was like, what about Colin? What about this child? She was like, He doesn't even see you like that. And she was like, I got to do what's best for me and my child. I got to do what's best. She burns the letters. So that's just an indication that she's over the other guy. And Penelope is just, her feelings are hurt. And she's like, fuck, like, mad. So back at the Duke and Daphne, so they fucking against some ladder or something like that. No, they fucking on the table, right? This time they was fucking on the ladder in the last episode. So they on the table. He climaxes, but he grabs like a napkin or a cloth or something like that. And so after they done, of course, he jumps out and goes over this way. Child, he's so dramatic. And Daphne is looking, and then she looks at the napkin like, what is he doing? Like, she just doesn't get it, right? So she runs down to Rose. She says, Rose, girl, I need you to explain to me the birds and the bees from A to Z. Everything. Do not leave nothing out, because I don't know what the hell is going on. It looks like he's hurt. He jumps off of me. It's just this weird thing that's happening at the end of our sex, so I don't get it. So she explains everything. Now Daphne is sick. She's sitting at the table, looking at the cross from the table and looking at him like, you motherfucker, you. She's looking at him. She pretends he comes in the room, honey. They show his backside. They show Simon's backside. He hops in the bed. Basically, all Simon wants to do is fuck. He don't want to do any talking. He just wants to screw down. And so she acts like she's asleep. So he doesn't get any. He wakes up in the morning. When he wakes up in the morning, wait. Oh, no, when he wakes up in the morning, she's gone again. And then later they end up having sex. As they're having sex, Daphne flips over, right? And now she's on top. She's going to town, honey, going to town. So he's about to climax. And he was like, wait, like, basically, get up off of me. And she doesn't. Girl, you just raped your husband. And I'm just going to say it. That's what you did. I'm not going to mince any words about it. Ladies, if you don't get up, when he asks you to get up and you stay sitting down, you've raped your husband. I'm sorry. I need to bleep that out, though. You have. And that's what she did. And he was like, what did you do? And she was like, why didn't you tell me that it's not that you can't have kids, you won't have kids. And he was like, I already told you that, and you accepted that. And she was like, but you lied to me. And he lied, and that's what it was. Hold on. So he was like, you knew. I told you. You accepted me. She was like, no, but you lied. You did not tell me that you didn't want kids. You told me that you couldn't have kids. So I accepted that on the pretense that your seeds was dried up. That's what I was okay with. Not the fact that you don't want children. So there's the breakdown. That's when it starts breaking down. You didn't lie. You didn't commit sexual assault. I don't know where we go from here. But the next day, Lady Whistledown, honey, in her circular, they let the town know, baby, that Marina is pregnant. She's with child, and she's been with child since she arrived to London. And Violet hands Colin the letter. Colin looks, Whistledown's circular, and he drops his bag like, what the hell? Marina, she coming downstairs with her hat and her bag, she ready to go. And Featherton's looking at her like, girl, the jig is up. The jig is up. And that was it for the episode, honey. It's getting good. Honey, Daphne, that was a mess. I was like, girl, do you know what you just did? I don't know what she did there, but later they show Daphne laying on her bed with her legs up, child. She's trying to get pregnant, child. Anyways, that was the end of the episode. Go ahead and let me know what y'all think of the episode. We'll get down in the comments. Peace.